This morning, several states in Mexico are on high alert after the death of a cartel leader triggered riot-like destruction across cities. And President Trump hints that the economy is expected to be in a major topic in the first official State of the Union address of his second term.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Welcome to Mountain News This Morning. I'm Neely Green here with you on this Tuesday, February 24th. The time is now 6 o'clock, and let's check in with meteorologist Megan Desmond for a look at your forecast this morning. Megan, it seems like every time I turn around, it's just snow, snow, and more snow.
Well, the good news is today's the last chance. We'll have those flurries this morning, but it's on its way out as we're heading into the next couple hours. Looking plenty dry from those snow chances from now until, well, the next extended period of time. So there's the good news. Here's what we're looking at right now on satellite and radar. Again, a very light dusting this morning, and we do have a chance of a wintry mix later tonight. So some folks could see some snow later tonight, but for the most part, we're almost done. Hopefully, fingers crossed, right? But here's what we're looking in terms of current temperatures. A mixture of the upper teens and low 20s to start off your day, so very cold. In the afternoon, we'll still be on the chillier side. The low 40s are going to take over once again. Here's a look at that forecast for you hour by hour. High temperatures by about 4 to 5 p.m. But as temperatures begin to drop, a warm front will be moving in, warming us back up overnight and into your Wednesday. Neely.
Thank you, Megan. Many folks in our area are dealing with snow, but the amount is nothing compared to what some in the Northeast have been going through. A nor'easter has caused problems with at least 1 foot of snow reported in parts of 7 different states. The winter weather forced travel bans and prompted warnings to stay off the roads. According to FlightAware, at least 10,000 flights have been canceled. In Park City, Utah, a murder trial is underway for a 35-year-old mother of 3 who published a children's book about grieving after her husband's death, and she was later accused of killing him. After her husband Eric died in 2022, Corey Richens promoted a children's book that she wrote about grief, saying it was to help her young boys cope with the loss of their dad. Richens was later arrested and accused of putting a lethal dose of fentanyl in his drink. In court Monday, prosecution and defense lawyers made opening statements, and Richens' call to 911 was played to the jury. Several states in Mexico are on high alert after the death of a cartel leader triggered riot-like destruction across cities. Authorities say burning vehicles and buildings is an effort by cartels to block further military operations. The U.S. State Department ordered tourists in several Mexican states to shelter in place. Darlene Silverstreet with Avant Travel in Lexington says while none of her customers are stuck in Mexico, she's advising people with plans to go there to weigh their options.
People have to make the decision whether they feel comfortable traveling or not, and we provide them with the resources to make that decision. And then they have to consider if they decide to cancel, what sort of penalty they would incur with the resort.
The U.S. government offers programs for people traveling out of the country. The Smart Travel Enrollment Program lets people register their trip for free so they can be notified and located in the event of a natural disaster or civil unrest. President Trump hints that the economy is expected to be a major topic in the first official State of the Union address of his second term. The speech comes amid growing unease over tariffs, affordability, and a U.S. military buildup near Iran. CBS News' Natalie Brand has a preview from Capitol Hill.
The President of the United States.
President Trump is set to tout his accomplishments and lay out his agenda for the year in his State of the Union address less than 9 months before crucial midterm elections.
We have a country that's now doing well. We have the greatest economy we've ever had. It's going to be a long speech because we have so much to talk about.
He'll take the podium at a time of increasing uncertainty. Last week, the U.S. Supreme Court dealt a major blow, ruling his Liberation Day tariffs are illegal, even as he doubles down on imposing new tariffs. Despite a stronger than expected January jobs report, consumer confidence has dropped, with a recent CBS News poll showing that many Americans believe the president is too focused on tariffs and not enough on lowering prices. Then there's growing unease that the U.S. could strike Iran, with nuclear talks between the two countries scheduled for later this week.
They better negotiate a fair deal.
Congressional Democrats are split over attending the president's address. Some are planning to skip it, while others say they want to express their disapproval of the president's policies in person.
I will be defiant in whatever way is appropriate, certainly by silence. I won't be standing and applauding like my Republican colleagues.
Virginia's first female governor, Abigail Spanberger, a former congresswoman and CIA officer, will deliver the official Democratic response. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
President Trump said on social media that he's invited the U.S. men's and women's Olympic gold medal winning ice hockey teams to the State of the Union. The women's team said it's sincerely grateful for the invite, but declined, citing previously scheduled commitments. The men's team has not yet confirmed if they will be in attendance. Markets took a tumble Monday amid the uncertainty over President Trump's tariff policy. He announced a new import tax on all countries after Friday's Supreme Court ruling striking down most of his tariffs. In a 6-3 ruling, the justices said the president's use of emergency powers law to levy sweeping tariffs was unconstitutional. In response, the White House turned to the Trade Act of 1974 to impose a 15% global tariff. European leaders say the new taxes violate the trade deal the EU made with the U.S. last July and delayed a vote to ratify the agreement.
We want to have clarity from the United States that they are respecting the deal.
The Trade Act the White House is relying on now only allows the president to impose tariffs for 150 days, unless extended by Congress. President Trump rejected that notion Monday, saying he does not need congressional approval to impose new taxes. The U.S. Supreme Court has agreed to hear a major climate appeal from fossil fuel producers. They are challenging a lawsuit brought by the city of Boulder, Colorado, which seeks to hold energy companies responsible for climate change. The appeal follows a Colorado Supreme Court ruling that allowed Boulder's claims against Suncor Energy and ExxonMobil to move forward. The companies argue federal law blocks state-level climate lawsuits. The city of Boulder says the companies knowingly misled the public about climate risk. Kentucky educators continue to call for change in a state budget proposal. The Kentucky Education Association says lawmakers need to sign a pledge to not shift more of the cost of health insurance to teachers and retirees. It comes as House Republicans say they are still waiting on key information in the budget writing process. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more on the debate.
The budget is the biggest bill to be considered this year, and while no vote's been taken yet, some groups are fearing the worst.
As we said, they're scared and they feel like they've been betrayed.
Retirement groups and educators say that House Bill 500 contains a cap on employer contributions, which will lead to higher health insurance premiums for teachers to public workers, retirees, and school support staff.
These are some of the hardest working people that you'll see, and you can prove that because you can ask them when you see them at their second job.
The concern is most will see their monthly premiums increase by about $500.
The legislators that we have spoken to thus far, most of them are saying that they can't vote for that.
House Speaker David Osborne says the challenge for them is how to pay for an expected 24% increase in public employee benefits. And he also says that requests for information from the governor have largely been unanswered. Osborne says the state budget director also indicated the information will be passed on, but so far nothing has been received. Advocates say the concern with House Bill 500 is for the retired person who has few options.
There is no second job. There's no extra money. What does he have to do without to be able to pay for medication that his wife must have to live?
Kentucky's House Speaker states the budget is still a work in progress and nothing has been finalized. In Frankfort, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
And we're we're continuing to track those cold temperatures this morning. A mixture of the teens and 20s as you're heading out of the door. It's now 16 degrees in Monticello, 19 in Logan, 18 in Clintwood. Those are the three cities I've been focusing on, but it's also 26 in Manchester, 27 in Louisa, and 25 in Jacksboro. We head into the afternoon. We will see some steady improvements. The low 40s are in store, but thankfully as we head overnight, not going to see too much of a difference in these temperatures. The warm front makes its way into the region, leading to the return of mid-50s by tomorrow. Here's a look at satellite and radar, though. Still seeing some flurries here and there, nothing too crazy as you're starting off the day with majority of your Tuesday just looking at cloud cover. Neely.
Thank you, Megan, and thank you for getting your day started with us here on Mountain News this morning. Lent is in full swing and seafood counters are busier as many Christians give up red meat on Fridays, with demand for fish driving up costs.